of sentient body, all of our invocations are to raise every sentient being to a sentient state. Yeah. And that's the soul. You know, without that, you don't have the soul. So that is the working out of a plan, is to change things from our very emotional, lower mind, and physical suffering scenario that comes from these things. And as we wake up, we're going to come to realize we do not have an emotional body. That was then, and this is now. Yeah. And when we finally wake up into this fifth kingdom, you know, it is a kingdom without an emotional body. Doesn't mean that we don't get passionate. Yeah. Doesn't mean we don't love things. Yeah. Doesn't mean we don't get all excited when something right happens and we're so joyful and blissful and all those things. Those are sentient qualities. They have nothing to do with your emotional body. They would not trigger you to slap somebody. They would not trigger you to think prejudiced thoughts of someone just because you have a biased mind. And you have a tendency to project and assume, you know, faults in people, finding faults and assuming faults, and then using your whole entire brain just to think of faults. And, yeah, it's terrible. That is not a sentient brain, that is not a higher brain, and it's all emotional body, and lowering the brain down to the lower body. Yeah, and then it looks at everybody as a lower person. Yeah, and there's no way to not do that unless you wake up your sentient body, and that's what we're doing here. So enjoy. Yeah, I'm Buddha. I am from the fifth kingdom. Yeah, and all of you are going to die and reincarnate and meet me there. Yeah, and if you could do that while you're alive, I'd be even happier. But I'm not going to waste any illusion on the fact that that's going to, you know, be the way. Yeah, the way that it works is through death and reincarnation. It's a transmigration of the soul. It is the time that you do meet Christ. It gives you an opportunity for redemption. And when you come back, you repent. And you will live a life of a better option with many opportunities and circumstances that you'll find yourself to be the better person than you've ever been, the better angel that you've ever thought you'd be, yeah, and that the world is a much better place. Enjoy.
clear whose responsibility crime is. So practically, what can be done to overcome this if borders are opened?
Well, then you are saying Africans are criminals. It can't be. It can't be. Africans are not criminals. We want free movement of Africans. There are very few individuals who are criminals in our continent. They must be arrested, they must be isolated, they must be dealt with decisively. We need one Africa, one judicial system, one economic system, one military, one policing system, one legislature, where all of us are held accountable. Upi Bushir, Gama donation. If we had one continent, we're going to pick up Bushir like we're picking up a chicken from a chicken run from wherever he is. But these useless borders that are overrated make it impossible for us to even go after people we know have committed crimes in our country and have gone to hide in other countries. But free movement, free one judiciary, independent executive, one president of the African Republic will help us to defeat crime. Cars are being stolen in South Africa, shipped into Mozambique. And what is painful is that even when they arrive in Mozambique, they don't change number plate. Nothing changes, nothing. They drive them the way they are. You can't do anything. Even if someone says, I've seen your car in Mozambique, you can't do anything. You have to go through some nonsensical protocols to have access to your car in Mozambique. But one continent, one borderless continent will help to defeat crime in the African continent.
Sure. Another one?
Abongilet Dumako from the SABC asks that, is it really because of COVID-19 that you want to postpone elections, or is it because you want more time to convince voters since you didn't perform well in the last by-elections?
Nice question.
And then there's a question from Haucher from UFM, is asking, are there any political ties between the EFF and Bobby Wine's party, and will the EFF continue contributing to the Solidarity Fund in the manner that it has been doing?
Well, Bobby Wine is our brother. He's young, he's energetic, he's got vision for Uganda. We have no relationship with his party, but we have a relationship with a young African blood, where we see young Africans rising to positions of responsibility. We support that. We may disagree ideologically and politically. It's given, it's fine. But let us disagree with young blood, which has got brains, which can still study, which can still be persuaded. Not some Madala who has no future in politics of the African continent. Young people will be scared to commit mistakes when they are in power because they will know that those mistakes are going to follow them for a very long time. They are still young. But these old ones, they know that even if they commit mistakes, they don't care. They won't be here tomorrow when we confront the difficult future. So, Bobby Wine, go for it, young man. I like your spirit. I like the fact that you are not scared. You have been in and out of prison, harassed by old age pensioner who was supposed to be receiving pension and looking after cattle. Because he's got too many beautiful cattle there in Uganda. He even gave some to Cyril, their friends. So, go for him. Don't be scared. Go and fight for the people of Uganda. Now the old man has suspended social media because he's a coward. He's scared of a free and open contestation. So don't be intimidated. Bobby Wine must be happy that the old man closed social media because of him. That shows the power of the youth. You have defeated him already. You have pushed him to engage in undemocratic practices because he's scared of the young brains. Why inspired Bobby Wine? Go for it. We hope the Zimbabwean youth one day will rise like you and confront Mnangagwa and drop him down because he's got no future in Zimbabwean politics. Mnangagwa is not a solution for Zimbabwean problems. We need younger blood, energetic youth. We don't care about their ideologies. Ideologies is contestation. Let them, young people, take over. Let's contest each other ideologically and politically, not through undemocratic means which borders on dictatorship. We will never subscribe to that. We don't support that. Stop spreading rumors about vaccine. There is no 666 vaccine. There is no vaccine that is going to kill people here. Let's stop stupidity and madness. You are taking Western medicine as we speak now. At the same time, after drinking Grandpa, you come and tell us there is 666 medicine after drinking Grandpa. And after telling people not to drink African medicine, the so-called Christian, don't drink African medicine, is witchcraft, is all type of things. You drink Western medicine, and then the same time come and tell us there is a 666 vaccine. There's no such a nonsensical vaccine. Vaccine must come, and vaccine must come like yesterday. We need vaccine. Let us not fight medicine. Medicine is not the enemy. Medicine is going to help us to defeat the enemy. Let us not fight science. Once we fight science, we are going to believe in superstition and false consciousness. And my family is not going to be defined by how whites define family. I've got a very big family. My grandmother had 9 kids. All those 9 kids had not less than 3 kids. All those not less than 3 kids have kids of their own now. So my family is a community on its own. It can only be defeated by Zuma family. There is no family that can beat that one. But otherwise, so I was with family at home. And half the time you see me in public during level 1, I'm with my wife and my cousin. I came with her there. And if you check the pictures, there is a space between me and the people, which is normally the case even when there is no lockdown. There will be a demarcated area where I'll go and sit. So don't try me with such things. Try me with serious stuff, not jokes. I don't like entertaining jokes. So I was with my family. Even now I'm with my family. And I will be with my family for as long as I'm alive. What was the last part?
The part about people who would seek help from the EFF.
No, but the statement says the labor desk and the gender desk are going to be extremely active on social media and online, and they will use telephones, emails to contact the companies that are not compliant and that are not giving people their monies, and we are calling for those companies to cooperate. If those companies do not cooperate, we may be forced to get out and be confrontational physically. We will not be scared to do that if the need arises.
Yes. Sangelo Maseko again asks, if you postpone the local elections, does the status quo remain of all of these municipalities, of the mayors that are there? What do you propose, especially for troublesome metros like Tshwane and Nelson Mandela Bay?
Well, when we postpone elections, the status quo remain until 2024. The only thing that can change the status quo of municipalities is elections or intervention by provincial government or national government. Otherwise, the status quo remains until 2024. The situation of Johannesburg, Tshwane, and Nelson Mandela, that situation was created by the people of those municipalities and will be seized with that situation until 2024. Situations like Amatol, the government, the provincial government, which also lacks capacity, must take over that municipality and rescue it and make to intervene. And as the law dictates, there could be smaller elections in those type of municipalities where there was intervention. It will not be in a national form, but in that small municipality, something that is practically doable.
Yeah. And then Tembile Pele, I'm correct, is still at News 24. Can you get a sense of the process after consultations with political parties on elections? If there are legislative amendments that will be necessary, is there enough time to do this before this year's elections are due? And will the EFF be open to postponing elections to later next year instead of 2024?
We told you our proposal. I mean, you can't be asking us. Our proposal is 2024. So elections must be postponed. That's a principle number 1. Because we've lost enough time to campaign. We should have started the campaign, the preparation from July 2020, internal preparations. But even internally, we couldn't meet because of regulations and lockdown. So that preparation has not taken place in all political parties. Then that first 6 months you do internal preparations. January, you start the public campaign. It has not happened. It will not happen. The president speaks about opening borders 15 February. So vaccination, they said it will come here, January. We are now going almost towards the end of January. It's not here. And it will not be here even in February. So the vaccination process will not have started effectively even in March. So we are going to lose the first quarter of a political year. And then you say to us, we must go to elections in August. Elections, for them to be declared free and fair, amongst other things, it includes having sufficient time to prepare and campaign openly. We cannot send our people without vaccination to go to people's houses to go and campaign and have human contact, because we will serve as super spreaders of this killer disease. So this virus cannot be spread by politicians because they seek power. We will rather put power aside and save life. Only when we are now confident that it is now safe to go into people's houses, then we can start campaigning and going into people's houses. The people themselves must make this call that they do not want any politician in their house for as long as vaccine is not here and for as long as it is not safe to receive visitors.
Known more popularly by his alias Bobby Wine, has been a strong critic of President Yoweri Museveni, who's been in power since 1986.
Dear people around the globe, I'm addressing you as a Ugandan in the urge of telling the world a story. The story is about Robert Chagulanyi, also known as Bobby Wine, known for his music but leading what they call the struggle for freedom. For the ones who don't know anything about Uganda, we are the youngest population in the whole world, with over 80% of Ugandans below the age of 35. That's approximately the number of years our current president is in power, but that's also Bobby Wine's age. We Ugandans all know Bobby Wine because of his music. The music that he starts producing in the late 90s from a small town center in the suburbs of Kampala, Kamoja.
Bobby Wine himself is a ghetto kid. Himself he represents ghetto. He is part of the ghetto. Ghetto is in his blood. That's why he's loved in our country.
He challenged everyone that, you know what, you can come from the ghetto and be somebody, because I'm also from the ghetto.
I think this is a fundamental change in the politics of our country.
This is President Yoweri Museveni in 1986. Ugandans were happy that the war against the regime of former President Obote was over and that Museveni brought stability and economic growth. Not 5, not 10, but 30 years later, he won his 6th term. Now when we go back to Bobby Wine's ghetto, it might look peaceful to you. Kids playing around, happy faces, but the facts around Ugandan ghettos are worrying. People are really poor, and they feel completely abandoned by Museveni's government.
These people have been claiming they had brought peace. People are sleeping well, nobody. But we can't sleep when we are starving. This is part of Uganda where the war was. It had everything. People were good farmers. We had coffee factories. We had cotton factories. We had shambas, big shambas. They are nowhere to be seen. We had very strong cooperative societies. Nowhere to be seen. Ugandans are slaves in their country now. That's why we are crying to the incumbent to put in place a situation where we can change politics freely.
In the late 90s, Uganda's music industry was changing direction, majorly because of them. Chameleon, Bebe Cool and Bobby Wine. Who is your favorite artist? I think all Ugandans have had this question at least once. Musical beefs and competition was trending at the time, but Bobby Wine soon brought a new concept to life, the Bobby Wine Edutainment. He gave advice through his music, sang about proper sanitation, entrepreneurship, the use of condoms, how to deal with the ghetto life, and he has always been outspoken about where he comes from, something that lots of Ugandans would be ashamed of.
I'm Bobby Wine. There's nothing to hide about me. I come from Kamocha, and hey, I'm proud of it.
And you know I'm representing that ghetto, and ghetto is all about,
You think ghetto is about smoking? No, you're
that's
very
what
wrong.
we think.
That's what you think. That's why I'm here to make it clear. Ghetto is where I come from. Yeah? Those places with limited opportunities. In the ghetto where we come from is where most talent is, but it's deprived of all the opportunities. That's where I come from. That's Uganda, baby.
One youth and youth, you know a politician will come for born. Straight from the Dangala, come and we come for your space. Exactly what's on a poor man's mind. Man called Bobby One, a man called Nubi, and listen, we come for talk. Remember, we are got a youth. Watch this.
Like we were telling the people, we elected you into office. You need to do something about the ghetto. You don't only remember us when you really need to get back into those positions.
His music has always been about justice.
He preaches out love, he preaches out unity, he preaches out peace, and he teaches a lot of people through his works. All his works are educative.
He wrote a song, and I told him, man, this song is going to bring trouble for you. You want to do this song, you need to be somewhere, maybe you need to be a politician, don't do this song. And he said, okay, I understand. Let me not do this song. And he didn't do the song. But after 5 years, he did the same song.
If I try to communicate what's actually on ground, I expect the authorities to appreciate that. I expect the authorities to react positively to that, not by intimidating the singer, not by branding me an inciter of violence. patience. I expect understanding.
People are pushing him to another position. You're singing for us the songs, these guys hear them, but they can't do nothing. Can you please get there on the floor and speak for us?
So he's like, man, do you know that I can be a member of parliament? And I was, yes, you can.
So Bobby Wine presented himself as a candidate in the by-election for Chadondo East. That's the constituency where he stays, to be the member of parliament, the representative of this constituency.
If he is serious going to the parliament, let him first shave off all those dreads. He agreed with people. Then we designed the other posters.
It was put everywhere all over the country, even where the elections were not going to happen. You would go to Mbarara, find people with these posters everywhere on their cars, on the streets, in their restaurants.
Chadondo, those people showed us love. Really love.
We were trying to prove this, that it's not about the dreads, it's about the brains.
Egenda okubeera entandikwa y'enkomerero y'obubbi bw'akalulu mu ggwanga lyaffe.
This is the song that Bobby Wine sang during the presidential elections of 2016. In this song, he advocates for peaceful elections and condemns the violence, a thing that always occurred during the elections.
Yeah, of course, we are versing with the state. So all the state establishment were in place. That is the police, the intelligence, the army, and of course the NRM as a party.
And these guys really try to do what they're best at, trying to rig.
The police could say, let's continue. Okay, what happened? Okay, stop fighting. Let's continue voting. But somebody like is putting on like 300 votes and the voters are like 10. Security was to be guaranteed by us, not the police, because the police is ordered by the ruling government.
They caught guys with vehicles, with boxes, so many votes already ticked.
We had to drive our cars the whole day, checking every polling station.